They say the exiled heir of Valdris died in the northern wastes, that the cold took her, or the beast that stalked the Frostmarch Pass, or the hunger that gnaws at the bones of anyone fool enough to cross into that frozen kingdom without an army at their back. They were wrong. The girl who fled the Obsidian Throne on the night of blood and fire did not die. She was unmade, and then remade, slowly, by a land that does not forgive weakness. A land that does not care who your father was or what throne you were born to sit upon. The outcasts of the northern wastes do not ask where you came from. They ask what you can carry, what you can kill, and whether you will share your fire when the night wind screams through the canyons and the frost creeps into the marrow of your bones. Kaelindra learned their ways the way a child learns to walk, by falling and rising and falling again. She learned to set a bone with woven grass and willpower, to read the tracks of snow hares and ice wolves on frozen ash, to listen to the silence between the howling winds, because in that silence the stone itself sometimes speaks. The outcasts had a saying. They would whisper it around the fire when the blizzards buried their cave mouths and the world outside became a white nothing. The throne is a cage. The wastes are a door. They did not mean it as poetry. On the night of the usurper's blade, when her mother fell and the throne room ran red with the blood of the Valdris line, Kaelindra took one thing with her into the darkness. Not a crown, not a sword, not even her mother's signet ring. She took a shard of the Obsidian Throne itself, broken from the seat where her ancestors had gone mad for 1,000 years. A piece of the old god's prison, still warm from the fire that had consumed the hall. The outcasts called it a death wish. To carry a piece of the bound god is to carry a piece of the god himself. They said the shard would whisper to her in the night, that it would show her visions of the throne's hunger, that it would drive her mad as it had driven every Valdris king before her. But Kaelindra knew something the outcasts did not. 10 years in the wastes. 10 winters of learning to survive a land that does not want you. 10 years of listening to the whispers of a stone that remembers every king who ever sat upon it. Every bargain they made, every drop of blood they spilled to keep their grip on power. The girl who fled was soft. She believed in justice, in honor, in the stories the bards sang about the Valdris bloodline. She believed that her family's rule was righteous, that the throne was a sacred trust, that the whispers in the stone were the voice of the kingdom itself. The woman who returned knows only one truth. The throne was never meant to be sat upon. It was meant to be broken. Every king who wore the crown of Valdris was not a ruler. He was a prisoner. A sacrifice fed to the hunger beneath the black stone, generation after generation, until the blood of the Valdris line became the chains that held the old god in its cage. And Kaelindra, the exile, the outcast, the girl who learned to read the silence between the winds, she carries the key. She has come home to finish what her mother started, not to claim the throne, not to sit where her ancestors sat and hear the whispers that drove them mad. She has come to shatter it, and the old god, bound in the black stone for 1,000 years, has been waiting.